right, so I am waiting for my water bath canner to come to boil. So I thought I'd start the prep on tomorrow's canning video. That's why I'm wearing the same outfit. But anyways, this recipe came from Pinterest, and we'll put a link below so the person who came up with it gets credit. I didn't come up with it. But my husband loves mustard, all things mustard. And so I wanted to try to make honey mustard for him. And so I did that, and it was a huge hit. So people have asked me what I've done. The next one I'm going to make involves his second love, which is beer. So stay tuned for that, but that'll be down the road. Anyhow, in order to make mustard, you have to let it soak for 24 hours. So that's why I'm prepping it today. So I have brown mustard seeds and yellow mustard seeds, and I got them both from Amazon. And I need a cup of each. So they're like little BBs. I'm going to pour them in. Okay. So there's my yellow. Here's my brown. I don't know if I mentioned it. We got them both from Amazon. There's probably local places you could get them at, but at this time I don't know what that would be. Then you take 3 cups of apple cider vinegar. This is good old Walmart for you. And shake it up because there's good stuff you need on the bottom. And you need 3 cups of that. All right. Makes it really strong, but you cook it out a little bit. It works out. So 3 cups. There's my first cup. And yes, I do count out loud to myself when I'm cooking. It doesn't take much for me to be distracted. Okay, 3 cups. Then it takes a 1.25 cups of water, and I just use tap water. There's a cup. And the third. And then I need 4 teaspoons of salt. Oh, I wanted to show my cute new salt and pepper holder. And actually these are mini casseroles. You guessed it, Pioneer Woman. Got it from Walmart. A woman can still shop even from home in quarantine. So 4 teaspoons of salt. And then I'm just going to lid it and leave it alone for 24 hours. Now, yes, I did say this would be honey mustard, but that gets added tomorrow during the cooking process. So I'll show you that tomorrow. And again, we're going to use some of our local honey from Zarate Honey, JP Honey. And hope to see you back then. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up. All right, we're back making our mustard, and it's been about 36 hours, maybe 30 hours that this has all been just soaking. I haven't really even looked at it. And I'm going to stick it into my KitchenAid, and we're going to blend it, pulse it until those seeds are mostly ground up. So I don't want it completely runny like the yellow mustard that you would buy, but I also don't want it completely grainy. So it looks like a lot of liquid, but as we go, you'll see that it will grind up and become mustard-like. So really it's your preference on how far you go on this. So I'll start and stop a couple times because actually it's your preference as to how you like it, since you're the one who loves this stuff. All right, so here we go. I'm going to blend. It's kind of loud, so we'll probably just bring you back in a little bit. Okay, so I stop because I feel like it was where it's at, but you can see quickly, not even close. So this takes a long time. or less grainy?
Yeah, a little more.
A little less. Right there, or more?
That's pretty good.
That's how you like it? No, you're the one who eats it.
Is that what it was last time?
I don't know.
Yeah, a little more.
A little more?
That looks good.
It's good? All right, so basically your mustard is done. The rest of what we're doing is because we want honey mustard, and also because we want to can it. Remember my first video I said you want to put hot things in hot things to can it. So my jars are getting hot, and I'm going to take my mustard over and I'm going to now get it hot and incorporate the honey. Now you can use any type of honey. We're using local honey by Zarate Farms here, and I feel like probably that saying, you know, if you want high quality, you're going to need to use high quality honey. So I probably wouldn't use like a baking honey like I would buy from Walmart, but this is the good stuff that I save for my tea on a winter's night, that kind of a thing. And so that's what we're going to add. And this recipe is really, it just says you could add honey if you wanted to. I didn't give you a measurement. So I have 2 tasting spoons over here because I'm going to add some and stir it up, and Jeff will taste it and see where he's at. And then if he wants more, then we'll add more. So I'm just going to incorporate it. And again, the heat is just so that it cans well. So at this point, it's ready to taste with the first amount to see
Fire like huge.
see where we're at, see if he's happy.
A little more honey.
Okay, so that's what I was thinking. I kind of thought it would probably take this whole rest of what I had, which was probably only about a half a cup. And I did heat it up a little bit in the microwave so that it would be easy to pour. And always save your jars. Always save your jars. If you don't use them, you can give them to a canner. All right, so I have my second tasting. And that's the last of my Zarate honey. So if that's not enough, we'll have to add a little bit of my Walmart honey. And I think that'll be okay. But we like to buy local, support local, and the Zarates have been good to us. And their son grew up with our son, and we're just real pleased that he's staying local and doing good things.
That'll do it right there.
That'll do it. All right, so the honey, or excuse me, the mustard is basically done. I'm just waiting for my jars to heat up. And I'm going to put hot mustard in hot jars, and they will process for 10 minutes. 10 minutes. All right, so we'll be back when I'm ready to jar these up. All right, so we ended up adding a little bit more honey to it. And you can see it's bubbly, it's nice and loose. There's still some whole seeds in there, but for the most part it's blended up. And that really is to your taste. Now I do want to tell you before I get these jars out and forget, that the recommended recipe that you'll see below, because it's from Pinterest, I don't have any of my own recipes, But the recommended recipe is that you wait 4 weeks for this mustard to kind of settle down, because that vinegar is sharp. However, everyone in my family and all the people we've given tasters to, and I'll show you what I mean by tasters. So these cute little teeny tiny jars, have eaten it immediately and they loved it. But it is incredibly strong. So if you do this and at first you're just not loving it, don't throw it out. It really is meant to sit for, the recipe said 4 weeks, to kind of chill out a little bit. But Jeff had it. I think you saw it on a video on a, what was it on?
I don't remember.
Yeah, and he thought it was fine as is, and we've eaten almost an entire jar of it already in our house. So I'm gonna pull out my jars and I'll show you. I'll fill my taster jars up first. They're just really cute. They're just these teeny tiny little jars, and that's what I did exclusively, except for the one that's in our fridge, last time. And my daughter said not big enough. So this time I went a few of these so we can still hand out tasters. And then I also did regular jelly jar size. All right. And these are going to process for 10 minutes just like our jam did. And again, I'm getting things close. I have my towel here to keep the jars from being shocked. Okay, and it doesn't take much to fill these little tasters up. All right. So I have 3 little tasters. And then I'm going to show you there. It's pretty dense, so I'm going to tap them down to kind of get things put in place. Okay, this is what I mean. You just kind of tap them. All right. Then I have my wet cloth to wipe. And by the way, yesterday all 14 sealed. So just taking a little extra time, wiping down the lids, getting things hot, doing what you know as good steps of taking care of hot things, and we're good to go. Hot jars, hot food. I can hear Mama saying it in my head. I think that's why I repeat it. Makes me feel closer to her. All right. Finger tight, don't crank it down. We used to crank them down, and just not necessary. And it will hinder your jars from sealing sometimes. So the next mustard I'm going to make for Jeff is habanero beer mustard. Yeah. So that'll be coming. If you're interested, just let us know that you'd like to see that. Otherwise, I'm doing it for him either way. So it's win-win for him. All right. I doubled the recipe, by the way. If you look at the Pinterest recipe, I did double it. For me, it's just not worth it to get all this stuff out and all the cleaning and stuff that needs to go on for just one recipe's worth. So I did double it. Again,
you
the
double
seeds.
This recipe, but you can't double the one yesterday.
Yes, it seems that is what I'm understanding is only jams and jellies you can't double. And I wish you'd have seen that because it fell probably 1/4 of an inch. It's worth it to tap it and kind of get those air bubbles out. Right, I'm going to clear, wipe down the jar lids. Warm water on these lids. I remember digging them out and burning my fingers. We don't have to do that anymore. Thank goodness somebody heard the canner's plea of making things a little better. 2 more jars. Oh, there we go. Did I double up on somebody? Doggone it, I did. So now you're going to get to watch me go fish. These lids like to stick together, and one of the jars got a double. So I am going to go fish because they won't seal properly if they're not, if they have 2 lids. Woo! Didn't look hot, but it's hot. Oh, winner. They love to stick together. All right. This is usually when I would use that gray silicone or black silicone insert for a regular pan, but I made beans today, and so our pan was being used, so I pulled out the water bath canner again. But really, the whole first year of canning, and I did a lot, our new daughter-in-law, we had a shower and we made a lot of jam for her. It was a country shower, and I didn't have any of these tools, so you can definitely survive without having all these tools. Okay. Oops, I'm going a little overboard. Have to fish some out there. And again, this is ready to eat just the way it is. So anything that doesn't fit in these jars is going to go fill up Jeff's jar in the fridge. So plunk it down, see if I still need to take some out after I plunk it. Yeah, I'm going to take out just a spoonful. Got to give space for it to do what it's going to do in there. Okay, I'm going to wipe down the tops and put them in the jars. Do what I did yesterday, make sure there's an inch of water covering them, at least an inch. Bring it up to a hard boil and start the timer for 10 minutes. We'll be back when we take them out. This is kind of boring to watch. All right, we'll be back. All right, we're back. Our 10 minutes is up. I'm removing my jars. I found 10 minutes was just about right to get my dishes done. Those little mustard seeds rolling all around made me think of something. I actually set one aside to show you just how teeny tiny it is. I'm going to leave these out on the counter again. We'll start hearing them pop, and we'll know they're sealed. I'll do the test, label them, clean them off tomorrow, put them on. I actually, pro tip, I put them back in the boxes that they came in, because there's nice dividers and it keeps them in there safe and secure, and they don't rattle around. And eventually I'm going to have some super cool shelves that I can put everything on, organized. You'll get to see that with Jeff and his build. But this was super easy, super fun. You know, kind of gives you bragging rights. I make my own mustard. Like anybody cares, it's 70 cents a jar at Walmart, but this really tastes better. And it's fun to do. Took my mind off a little bit, helped me unwind a little bit. Busy day in the office, sitting in my chair. 2 Zoom meetings, grading stuff, talking to kids, trying to encourage kids. As I was cleaning up the kitchen and in the sink, I had several of these mustard seeds rolling around. And it reminded me of a promise in God's Word that I have taken for granted. God's Word says in Luke that if you have a faith of a mustard seed, this little teeny tiny mustard seed, just that big, just that much faith, you could say to that mulberry tree, get up, and go out into the sea, and it would go. And through this whole virus thing, I've been worried about my kids. My daughter-in-law's a nurse. I've been worried about my students. I've been worried about everything. And I need to get back to that faith of a mustard seed in my God, who knows the outcome and who holds our hand as we go through it and promises us the rainbow that's going to come. So my friends, hold on to the faith of a mustard seed and make some of this fun mustard. If you'd like to see any more canning videos, comment below and I'll work on it. If not, I'm going to keep canning either way, and you can just watch Jeff. He's a lot more funny and a lot less serious. So anyways, have a great day. We'll see you soon.